This your girl Rami. Welcome to Soberette. Welcome to another episode in my world. Welcome to my channel, and please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button below and share it. Just keep sharing the video. So anyway, today, my last video, I talked about financial people being careful with their money, financial planning. And so today I'm just gonna kind of give you guys a backstory to my own debt-free journey. So anyway, I came to this country in 2005, started school in 2006, January 2006. And as an international student, you don't know much about anything, right? You don't know the concepts of anything. And credit card debt, all of that stuff. Nothing. You're brand new. You're just trying to survive, trying to learn the system. I went to a university in Minnesota called Winona State University, and of course I made, we had a healthy African crew: Nigerians, Cameroonian, Congolese, Mali, Ghanaian. So we're really kind of mixed. Tanzanians and Kenyans. I think East Africans made the bigger chunk of us, but it was great. Everybody's just hustling, trying to survive. And then, how did I get into that? One day, we wanted to go to Wisconsin Dells. La Crosse, Wisconsin is borders with Winona, the city of Winona. And Wisconsin Dells is a theme park. I mean, families can go there. There's all these rides and all this fun stuff to do with your kids. So we wanted to go, and I wanted to go. But I did not have the money. And this is how I got my first credit card, which was with Dear Discover. So I got a credit card with Discover. I applied for one. They gave me one with $1,000. Man, I knew that I had arrived. You couldn't tell me anything. So now I can fund this trip. First mistake, right? If you don't have, sit your behind down somewhere. You don't have to go, but I so wanted to go. So then that's what I did. That's how I was able to fund my trip. I mean, back then it was like $200 per person, and now for some people it's not a lot of money. That was a lot of money for me as a student, given that I was working at the library part-time, 20 hours a week. And then I had to figure out my rents and my food, but I'm sorry, the credit card came and I was like, I found all the solutions to my problems. Right? And what's hard? How hard could it be, right? You have, they tell you, oh, $20, you pay $20 only per month towards your credit card statement. Sign me up. Where do I sign up? So I signed up. I went to this trip. I had so much fun. I didn't care. I was just happy. Big mistake, guys. First of all, when you don't have the money, just sit down somewhere. You don't need to go anywhere. Wisconsin Dells is always going to be there. It's still there. I could have just been like, no, I'm not gonna go, but I really wanted to go. And so that is how I started with credit cards. And next thing, you're taking out another one because you're trying to do X, Y, Z, things that don't make sense. And then I also got into other credit card debt, right? They're the departmental store ones cards, like the Macy's. I had a Macy's card. I had a Victoria's Secret card. I had an Ann Taylor card. What else? Yeah, those were the ones that I had. But when people are selling you credit, they're trying to tell you, oh, if you have this one, it'll be good. If you have this, and you just buy into it. I'm like, Victoria's Secret makes sense to me. Victoria don't tell nobody. It makes sense to me because, it kind of is one of those sensationalized things out there, departments or brands that, as a college student, everybody was talking about it. I wanted to have bras or whatever, but in hindsight, I didn't need those things. But as with every journey, you gotta learn your lessons, right? So I had to. Most of my undergrad, I was always overdrawn. I was in the red. My bank account was always in the red. I robbed Peter to pay Paul, just like that. And you struggle, and you're always in this cycle. And then I moved to Houston in 2014. I moved to Houston. At this point, I already had like a car loan. So I had a car loan. I had my credit card debt that I had, and it's like, okay, you gotta figure it out. So when I moved to Houston at the time, out of grad school, I had a higher paying job. and it was a contract job. But yours truly was just like living from paycheck to paycheck, because by the time you're paying off all this minimum payments, you sit and you look and you're like, man, what else is left to save? I didn't know where to get the money. And then ding ding ding, another bad solution, at least for me. For other people it would work, right? Like people that are very intentional about it. I went to a credit union and I consolidated all my debt, all my credit card debt into one. And so I had one debt and all my credit cards paid. But guess what? If you're not disciplined, like I wasn't, I started using up some of those credit cards again and racking up more debt. So it got to a point I was like, no, I need to do something. And then I started listening to Dave Ramsey. Oh, Dave Ramsey. I did not like you at all. But I knew that I had a problem and I had to work it out, right? So I did that. Dave Ramsey teaches the zero budget method, where you assign every dollar a job. So say you make $1,000 a month. You list out all your expenses. And every dollar needs to have an assignment. So if you're paying water bill 20, utilities 50, food 50, and all of that good stuff. By the time you're done with it and you subtract your income coming in and what you have leaving out, it should all total zero. If you're gonna save $10, fine, but everything should total zero. In my next video, I'm going to kind of show you guys what that means, just like a template and stuff like that. But if you go on Dave Ramsey's website, you'll find that, or even just Google up zero-based budget. A lot of people have all these templates out there that you can see, you can view it. And that actually forced me to do a few things. I think when I used to try to be on this debt-free journey, when I started doing it on my own, I would not assign myself dollars to spend, but then I'm a spender. And my fear was, I don't want to put let's say $200 for me, and then, I'm not serious enough. So I wasn't giving myself any kind of leeway for anything, which wasn't a good idea, because I needed to have something on hand where I could play with. I'm not like, okay, I'm not eating into this budget or into this expenses or adding onto my expenses. So when I started the journey, I was serious. I was very serious. I had friends who would tell you, all my friends would tell you, Rema would talk about her budget from sun up to sundown. I was like, I can't do this. I don't have the money. And then I started learning, it's okay not to be everywhere. If you're invited to something and you can't make it, that's fine. If you're invited to a wedding that is 6 months ahead, you plan for it. So you save money towards it, you have a fund. So I always say it's good to have a travel fund. It's good to have a vacation fund. Travel fund for your tickets. Vacation fund for how you're going to pay for the housing, right? Everybody is different. I always say, even to my Africans, because Africans, we tend to send money home a lot. You should have an account for that. You should have a fund for that, where you're assigning $50 every month or $100 every month to this account, where if somebody calls you from home and they need help, you send it out to them. But when you have future expenses, you should start budgeting from them ahead of time. So that's why it's good to have a travel fund, a vacation fund, a play money fund, this is relatives and every other person fund. Put all that money in that bucket, and then of course you have your expenses. If you have a car, you should have a fund for if your car breaks down, right? You have money for that in place, so you're not stressing. Just like with an HSA account, for those that don't know what that is, that's a health savings account. You're able to save money out of your paycheck, right? So every dollar is accounted for. So, and that's how you're able to then figure out what is left that you can allocate towards your debt payment. And if you don't have enough money, go get a second job. I don't care if it's $15 an hour or $10 an hour. You're working 20 hours a week part-time. Go get a second job and just work. And before long, you would have paid off your debt. So I was able to pay off my debt. I think, I'm trying to think. It was September of 2019, I was able to pay off my debt by God's grace, with God's grace. So I was able to pay off my debt and I was debt free, and it's been a learning process for me again, because according to Dave Ramsey, cut off all your credit cards. I understand that for people that don't know how to control themselves with credit card debt, like me, I'm learning how to control myself. I don't believe in it as well. No, I take that back. Credit card, in America, you need credit to get stuff, but I also know that you don't need to. They talk about getting credit to get a house, get a this, but people go around that. They save their money, they do things differently, right? And able to buy these things but the media tells you all the time that you need to have credit to build, you have to have a credit score and all of that stuff, which is all important if you ask it, because I feel like when you have a good credit score as well, you do save money. So anyway, for me now, it's been managing myself with a credit card. What are you putting on there? If you have like expenses, like, you know, utilities, for example, I put it on there. Gas, I put it on there. Food, I put it on there. But these are things that I know that I have to pay every month out of my own budget. So then I use the credit card. Dave Ramsey, please don't kill me. I know you say no credit card. I mean, I cut up all of them except for 1, 2 maybe. So, I mean, so that's that has been my journey. And some of the takeaways I'll tell you guys is, for those that are listening and they feel like you have to be, there's a lot of peer pressure that happens. Don't give into it. Honestly, if you don't need it, if you can't afford it, don't get it. It's the same like, you know, going and buying a car that you can't afford. The payments are like $600. I personally think that's a lot. If you can afford that, that's a different animal. You can do it. But if you can't afford it, please stay within your budget. If you're on a debt-free journey, find a community that's going to push you. Because there'll be some days that you just feel like, I can't do this anymore. I just want to maybe just live a little. But I promise you, one day you're going to thank yourself for doing it. You know, just stay the course. It may take years, but you're going to get there. People who are married and have 2 incomes, you can get on 1 income and then take the other income and throw it towards your debt. It might take a while, but you get there. Personally, I think that a lot of people should be able to do that. It's not easy when people have student loans and all of that stuff. So it's never easy, but it's very doable. But it just might take another person, if they have a bigger struggle, people that make like 200K, 300K a year, they can easily pay off debts, depending on what the debt is, right? Versus other people who don't have that much. So that is where you have to go out there, get a second job, just try to work your butt off and take that money and put it towards your credit card debt or whatever debt payments that you need to pay off. So those are some of my tips. And also just find friends who are gonna motivate you. I think I had a good balance when it comes to friends motivating me. Most of my friends are good with money, so it was easy for them to be like, no, also cut up this one. Think about, you know, paying yourself as in money for you to play with. You pay yourself when you save your money, but also you also have money that you can be like, okay, if you go out there and you see like a nice dress, you can buy. I'm not saying go buy a dress on full price. Try to find deals. There are always deals out there, and if you don't have it, it's okay to wait. I always say sometimes it's good to just defer your excitement or stuff, or if you want a handbag that you're like, man, I really want to have this handbag. You know what? Save for it. $50 here, $20 there. By the time you make it to $400, you're like, okay, I guess I can buy that bag now. Then you go ahead and buy it. Those are some of the tips I have, and that's what delayed gratification. I think a lot of us do it instant. When we see something, we're like, oh my God, we have to have it. But you don't really have to have it. You're not gonna die. You'll be all right. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts about money. And if you've been on a debt-free journey, I would like to hear your stories. You know, just comment and just leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know. And I'll be signing off for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you again. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.